Oh!
This show is part of the Drowning Man Podcast Network. Visit drowningmanpodcasts.com.
Rolling.
Peyton Manning? Sports.
I like hockey.
I do too, actually.
I like hockey because it doesn't fucking stop.
Of all of the professional sports, if I had to pick two that I could get into, probably, it would be ice hockey and basketball. Mm-hmm. Because they do move.
Yeah. Like, baseball has... I saw a quote once that hitting a baseball is the singular most difficult activity in sports, and I definitely agree with that. You have a fraction of a second to, like, pre-react, and I totally get that. But the stop and start gets me. With basketball, like, once you've watched hockey and they, like, rough each... Even just, like, the pushing and the shoving, like, basketball is like, oh, stop play. He touched him. There was a wrong touch that, like... Fuck, just go. I don't care about free throws. That's why I like hockey the best. They stop for, like, incapacitating injuries, and when the puck goes out of play and you can't keep playing. That's it. That's when you stop hockey. I love it.
But as far as pacing is concerned, basketball is better than baseball or football.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's consistency with breaks instead of... plays between long periods of, is everybody ready?
Right.
Are we ready to play the game? Are you ready? You ready to play the game?
Yeah.
Play the game! Okay, stop!
Yeah, I read somewhere, and I don't remember any of the numbers, so why am I bringing it up? But I read somewhere that, like, in a 2-hour American football match, there's actually, like, 11 minutes of gameplay or something crazy like that.
Yeah. And that's part of it, and I understand that because, like, in basketball, the shot clock is running down, or in football, you have a different kind of clock running in the background, essentially going, you have to go. Mm-hmm. But as a non-aficionado of the strategy, I'm like, go! Play the fucking game!
Yeah.
Also, hockey not only allows, but encourages fights. And that's amazing.
I don't really care either way about that.
That's fair. And they track hits. Hits is a tracked statistic in hockey. When you hit someone, they track that. They have players whose hits are tracked, and I love that.
All right. John, what do you like? Cool. Let's get into it.
Oh, fuck. Jesus.
This is for the 30th.
May 30th?
You're wasting all the time. Another hour gone. Did you hear the chime? You're wasting all the time.
Recorded for Thursday, May 30th, 2019. Dave almost forgot to sing because he's a fuck.
Hello.
Hey.
And welcome to Wasting All the Time,
A podcast.
My name is Dave.
Fuck you.
John.
I'm Cody. Shut up. Dave's a dick. I don't fucking care
And I'm
anymore.
a dick.
Stupid. I'm doing low voice.
And we're going to waste all of the time.
Goddamn bass baritones.
Hey, you do some vocal fry, you can get low too. Perfect. This is episode 321.
Squeaked a little bit.
C.
Charlie.
Charlie. Well, I'm back in Nom. All right.
Shit.
This is the episode where we go back and forth between absolute horror show and our favorite moments of the 6 years.
I'm terrified. We got a little taste of it 2 weeks ago, or last week, with the best of 2013.
That's right. But
sorry,
as sorry, world. As we alluded to in the last two episodes, episode 1 came out in January of 2013. Wow. But that is not the very first time that we sat down to record this podcast. I had heard the sage wisdom, as I was very much into podcasts. I had heard the sage wisdom that do not start a podcast cold. Try it out a few times before you launch. So I brought that said sage wisdom to John. And we were in discussions in October of 2012
Good year.
that I was out of a job. John was recently unemployed. and recently-ish.
I think
We were both unemployed. That's
Yeah.
the point. We had time to waste.
Yes.
And I had heard an improv podcast and said, that sounds kind of like just me and John screwing around. But they're good at it.
Little did he know.
Let's try this. I love podcasts. Let's try this improv thing. And very out of character, John said, yeah,
Yeah, why not?
let's do this thing that you said.
The apathy, that was what he was counting on. Do you want to do this? Whatever.
So John either picked up or had one of those like $13 digital audio recorders
Yeah.
meant for college students.
Yeah, I had already gotten it for recording, lectures.
Oh, yeah. So you fell prey to the scheme
Yeah. Yeah.
that this is a thing you can use in college.
Right.
And
Little did he know.
yeah, so we talked about what kind of like segments could we do. We came up with fruit words before we ever sat down, and one day we decided, let's pull the trigger, let's go for it. And this is what happened. After a little bit of banter, we began our very first scene, which was a fruit words scene. Mm-hmm. It had something to do with funky summer camp or something along those lines. So here is John and I actually engaging in an improv scene for the very first time.
I don't know that I've ever heard this.
No one has ever heard this. Very few people, I should say, have ever heard this. So here we go. It's a little long, but there's a lot to learn.
Two dramatic understatements.
Listen especially for people saying things to the other person and having the other person say, no. Because that's great. Here we go. This is Funky Summer Camp.
Hi, welcome to
Jesus.
Camp Onomatopoeia. Which instrument are you playing?
Well, I was gonna play some tasted jams on the upright night,
Oh, you're a bass player.
Dig man?
You're a
Dig
bass-
man?
No,
dig?
well, digging isn't really part of our curriculum. yet.
No, man. Well, you see, you
This is
gotta
super
dig
hi-fi.
it, man. You gotta,
Sound
you
quality.
gotta let it
It's like on a record.
all kind of
Well,
hang out.
This is
Okay,
after
but-
I did some work.
Well,
I'm at you.
Wow.
What's your name?
Well, I'm
Not prepared.
Mandy,
Okay.
with a K.
No black man is named Mandy, John.
Mandy.
You're safe.
Could you spell that? I'm sorry.
Mandy.
No, man, it's all right.
Oh, was it Mandy? With a K?
Yeah.
Okay.
You dig, right? You dig?
and-
You
and
dig
you-
what I'm saying to you right now?
Sure. Sure. For the sake of moving on, I'll understand. And you said you play the bass. Is that?
I play, yeah, I just, I stand back there and I just, yeah. Yeah, man.
Okay.
You
Well.
know, I get the groove going and it's nice.
Okay.
And I play the upright, I play the electric, it's
Oh, that's good to know. Okay.
yeah, and yeah.
And so, okay, so here at Camp
The ladies
Onomatopoeia.
love it.
Oh, I'm sure they do, Mandy.
So patronizing.
We have different size ensembles. There are some sort of like small funk groups, and then there's a larger band size with lots of horns and so forth. And I was just wondering if you had a preference.
Well, I where the cool cats at? I play with them.
Oh, I'm sorry. We don't actually allow cats at Camp Onomatopoeia.
Oh no, where's it really?
John brings it back.
Really cooking, man.
Well, we do have a mess hall, and we provide
Dave shuts it down.
3 meals a day. Breakfast isn't really cooked. Usually, more of a cold.
No, I mean,
John
you want me to play with
persists.
these cats and
No.
Dave shuts it down again.
No, we would like you to. You're going to be playing with other campers.
Well, yeah, the little cats out there, It's
Well, For the sake of moving on, I know, yes.
Twice.
All right.
So did you have any preference?
Well, who's the best? What you got? Who you got on the horn?
Well, this is our first year, so we don't really have any regulars or anything.
No.
We're going to all find out
Funk bands have
together
horns.
where each person's level is.
Well, all right.
So far, we have lots of saxophones. We've got 8 soprano sax players, which is
I know about music.
a good sign. We've got 12 alto saxophones.
What you need 8 soprano saxes for?
Oh, well, if we're honest, we don't, but we don't discriminate.
Well,
If they want to play a metal clarinet, they're welcome to. But
music shade.
Funky. It's more of a smooth jazz kind of a
smooth
thing.
jazz. What the heck? What you talking about? Smooth jazz.
Don't be bothered.
You said this is a funky summer camp.
This is funky.
John gets interested. I shut it down.
Dig it, I guess I would say. This is funky. I was just saying, we've got...
What you mean, dig it? What you trying to say to me?
Another beat. Triple beat.
So we have lots of saxophones, and we've got some trumpets and some trombones, and we're it's great to have a bass because we need that in the sort of the rhythm section of the funk bands. So that's where our horn players are at.
You call a saxophone a horn?
The colloquial term for a saxophone is
no goddamn horn. It's a saxophone.
In fact, in sort of the jazz funk idiom, people tend to call their instrument a horn no matter what it is. Which I've never personally understood. I'm more of a classical musician, actually.
Oh, classical.
But
yeah.
Trying to branch
I
out.
feel you.
And reach out to the more urban group.
What?
So the next question is, do you have any allergies besides cats? Because that's taken care of. You don't have to worry about cats. Do you have any food allergies that we should know about?
Technically not a bad callback.
I'll be all right. It's just
It's not well executed.
It wasn't executed on a good joke.
Kind of
Yes.
you know what I'm saying. Some natural, holistic, sort of a vegetation thing. You know what I'm saying?
We do have a garden on site, and most of our produce does come from there in the right season.
Yeah. You got that purple sticky stuff?
Purple sticky stuff?
You know what I'm saying.
Cabbage?
No, man. No. Well, it's the mind cabbage.
I don't need
Mind cabbage?
No, man. You know what I'm
mind cabbage.
You know what I'm saying.
I don't.
You know what I'm talking about. Oh, come on.
Well,
Ain't no man put together a funky summer camp don't know about this.
Well,
don't know about that.
Well, I didn't really put it together.
Where do I go from
I'm
here?
in charge of the,
Well,
filling out the income
you know what I'm saying. Little bud,
roster.
Little bud,
Well, this is a non-alcoholic.
Stupid.
Oh well, that I'm all for that.
I love how frustrated you are.
Okay. So no allergies.
What, now or in the scene?
No allergies. Okay, all right. No allergies.
I'm allergic.
You idiot.
I'm allergic
I'm listening to it and I'm being
drag.
like, this is a lot funnier than I remember hearing.
Okay, well that's... You might want to avoid our talent show, but I think we're going to be all right. So, now, did you register for the single
Let's keep this scene going.
or the duo or we have 4 beds and we've got 2 beds.
This
and
is scintillating material.
And which one did you?
Well, who's gonna be in that bed with me?
Go right there.
No. We have. You don't have to share a bed. We have multiple beds per room.
Oh.
And so.
Oh, I love that. Oh.
Which
like it could be disappointment or it could be
arrangement did you sign up for? Do you have your name tag? That would have made a lot of this a lot easier, actually.
Idiot.
I'm still getting the hang of this job, but did they give you a name tag, Mandy? I didn't.
No, I don't.
I remembered your character name.
They're supposed to have given you a name tag, and
no, I don't believe in labels, man. Name tag is a label.
Well, it is part of the camp experience. It's to facilitate intersocial relations and to get people, to be familiar with each other, to get over that awkward sort of, to be a catalyst to get over that awkward, energy that two people encounter.
Like right now.
I thought you said these cats are cool, man. You get some cool cats together.
I said catalyst. I'm not talking about the feline animals. I'm talking about it's an activation energy. It's something to get.
Feel you.
It comes from we don't need to. It doesn't matter.
Just thinking of some of the alpha.
All I want to know is which room are you going to be in?
Because this is important.
One with the 4 beds, one with the 2 beds, or one with 1 bed.
Well, I guess 4 beds is fine.
All right. That turned out all right. Oh.
Alrighty. Sweet segment, bro.
I can still see your face at the end of that scene when I switched back to the normal voice and there was like a beat where you process that and then
yeah. So I mean, there are a few good things about that.
Yeah, there were some punches, and like I said, you guys committed to your characters. Mm-hmm. Like even in the face of this is a little inconsistent or this is kind of weird, you stuck with your character, which is good acting. Mm. You were solid actors at that point. Mm-hmm. Again, the improv rules of say yes and find the weird and move the scene to things didn't
not so much
get addressed.
But yeah, we just went by instinct, and there you go. That was good enough for us to say, yeah, I guess let's try this again.
Yeah.
And so we did. We sat down once again in the enclosed patio of my parents' house.
Right.
With the same shit recorder. And we did an episode B, as we called it. Mm-hmm. And I think in that one we played an improv game called Actor's Worst Nightmare.
Oh yeah,
I do love that
game.
And
it did not go well.
Did not.
And it was upsetting, but I was telling John already that our sound quality was crap and I didn't like it, and boy, I had been over to my friend Cody's house before.
That's me.
And we had messed around with GarageBand in his room and had a lot of fun recording things. And I remember thinking, Cody has like a friggin' soundboard and a microphone and
Yamaha MG10 too.
And I've known Cody, long as I've known you, John, and we're best friends. We go way back, and we have a sensibility. Cody was part of our Monty Python ripoff, tears, and let's bring Cody into the mix. Then it's not all on you and me the entire time.
Right.
Put the pressure on someone else.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it worked.
So
I feel so much pressure.
Speaking of Cody.
That's me.
Let's take a step into the future.
The future past. The days of future past. X-Men reference.
X-Men, not Y-Men.
X-Men, X the days.
So let's take a look at one of the scenes from our six and a half-ish years of podcasting. Mm-hmm. Episode every week. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty fucking awesome. I think.
Here's a scene that Cody remembers fondly.
This was good.
From beta episode B, those, all the way to episode 181, which was titled Extra Normal Maritime Americans. This was the improv game of the week, Master Servant Disaster, one of the old-time classics. This is a sort of a rogue special ops situation. This is Cody's favorite scene-ish. I mean, there are so many.
There's a ton. Like you said, I remember this one fondly. I remember having a great time, and I remember not hating myself as much at the end of it.
That's good.
So
that's the dream.
Here we go. Master Servant Disaster between me and Cody. Here's one of Cody's all-time faves.
All right. Agent Markham.
Sir.
We are almost to the facility. This is of critical importance in the mission.
Sir, yes, sir.
So we have to get inside. So I need the layout plans for the building. I need those right now. Because we're getting close and I'm going to have to figure out which entry is not guarded immediately.
Sir, we needed to pack light for this excursion, so we didn't bring the large physical copies of the layout.
Oh, no, okay, no, that makes sense. Okay, no, that was good. Good thinking. Then just give me the tablet with the digital copies. I know there's a couple gigs on there. It'll take a minute to load, but text speak.
Yeah, sir. Unfortunately, we did leave some time ago, and we neglected to bring charging cables for the tablets, so the batteries have all run down. It's been a while.
Oh, that's kind of an oversight.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Then you know what? We'll just do this old fashioned, nose of the grindstone spy work. Give me the binoculars. I'll scout out just exactly what their patterns are, and we can kind of play it by ear once we get inside.
Sir, I no one told you this yet because we knew you wouldn't be happy about it, but Eric had the binoculars when we were attacked. And when we left Eric and his corpse behind, the binoculars were still with him.
No one grabbed them?
No, sir. Everyone grabbed, their lives, sir.
Everyone grabbed their lives. That's, I guess that's rule one of spy work is grab your own life. All right, then. So then, okay, better idea. Get me the sonic hearing thing so I can listen to the guards' conversations. I'll be able to plot out exactly what they're saying, and then I can figure out their routes from that.
Yeah.
It'll be a little more difficult, but they should still let us get into the building.
I don't remember how many sonic hearing things did we have with us when we left?
I mean, just the one. It's like a $40,000 piece of equipment.
So we didn't have we didn't have an extra one?
No, we barely got that one.
Shit. Yeah, Eric was using it in combination with the binoculars so he could see and hear far. I mean, he wasn't our lookout, so.
How did he not see the attack?
Sniper, sir.
Okay. Wow. Got a little rough. So then
it's very rough.
This is gonna have to get dangerous.
Sir, you want to do this?
Give me the disguise kit. I'm gonna have to just go right up to the front gates and just bluff my way in. So the disguise kit, the face paint, like the mustache. Oh, give me all that. Give me that kit.
Yeah, sir. We already used up the disguise kit.
We've been hiking.
All the makeup. Yeah, I know. But remember when we first realized that the tablet battery was draining, and we didn't yet realize that we didn't have charging cables with us. Sonny and Smith used the makeup, all of it, to make themselves look like civilians again. And then they went into the Starbucks to try to find a place to charge. And that's when they realized that we didn't have the cables. And so they ended up just having to buy some coffees and leave.
No one got me anything?
Sir, we have very few cash reserves. And our cards are all being tracked, so.
They each had like 2 drinks. I saw that.
Yeah, they were compensating. They were undercover, and they wanted to look extra normal, so they got too many coffees, in hindsight, sir. I mean, 4 Starbucks coffees that really blew through the cash fast.
I mean, yeah, those things are expensive.
So
okay, all right. So we have a disguise kit.
Yeah, they washed all the makeup off.
Just in case.
Even like the mustaches, they could have just peeled it off and put it back in the...
They thought it'd be funny to use the mustaches as eyebrows.
Yeah. That is Master Servant Disaster is a game that we play
a couple times
that is not always successful.
Not always.
As a game.
Yeah, it's difficult. My understanding is that it is controversial because it is basically premised on saying no.
Yeah.
And so that's part of the challenge, is figuring out how can I constantly turn down this other character without it.
Well, saying yes while you say no.
Yeah.
When, like you said, I said, give me the plans. You said, we don't have the plans. Fine. I said, give me the tablets. It would have been super, super easy for you to be like, oh, we forgot the tablets.
Right.
And just, but you, like the kind of sidestep of, we forgot the charging cables and the tablets are dead.
Yeah,
is a nice little step.
That's the thing, is adding information, building the scenario while you're saying we don't have that thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you end up, by the time you're at the end, like you have this whole story being told in hindsight by saying this is why we don't have this thing.
It puts a lot on both players to, one, come up with things that you need for the scenario.
Which is hard.
Yeah, because it sounds like just, go to the next thing. Well,
yep.
It's a spy
Except
thing.
you
What's
have
that?
to come up with that thing.
Yeah. And then saying no in a creative way that adds information. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We've had a couple rough times of that, but I think that's why that was my favorite. That worked really well.
It did. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. So that's a lot of fun.
Hey Dave, what's next?
One of the reasons why that works so well is because, Cody, you did a really good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And, I have never regretted bringing you into this.
Oh.
You have been a great addition to the podcast ever since episode C.
Charlie.
Yes.
Episode C of the beta episode.
You're about to play one of those, aren't you?
And, here is the moment where Cody made his podcast debut.
I'm already embarrassed. I'm
already radioactive. Here we go.
Well, hello and welcome to Wasting All the Time. I'm John.
I'm Dave. I guess I'm Cody.
Yes, this
Weird
week
order.
we have a new
Confused
format. We've included a third character. This is Cody.
Howdy.
So
low energy.
what you been up to, Cody?
Causing
Why
trouble,
am I
like
doing
do.
Dave's
Causing
job?
Yes, I work at the state. It's a very exciting life. Lots of danger and intrigue and forms.
Right.
Yes.
The wry British humor at that point was still my mainstay.
Yeah. So good point. Factoid.
Oh boy.
Little trivia bit here. When we first started the podcast, John was sort of the lead host.
Right.
And I didn't let that last very long.
No.
But yeah, that was how we started out. I deferred to John, and he was
What
the
a
one
mistake.
who started things off.
Right. And then we figured out that was a terrible idea.
I mean, it wasn't the worst thing ever, but
Right.
I felt like I had a little bit more of a vision,
Yeah.
and that's sort of been the drama ever since, is me thinking I know what this podcast should be and then dragging you guys along into it. Whereas John was initially an equal part of the podcast. I couldn't let go of the power once I had it. The power.
Shut up. Fuck you. Stupid deep voice.
Fuck you.
Hold on. I'm going to play with the effects on the board and take like 20 minutes.
But it's been a ton of fun.
Yes.
And it is the most consistent thing that I have done other than school
Right.
Which doesn't count because school is dumb.
and meals. I mean,
No, my meals have been less consistent than this podcast.
it's pretty wild. But we go way back. We've each of us known each other for a very long time. Cody, you and I met in 96, in our 7th grade
No.
PE class.
Yeah,
Cody
that's
and
right,
I
junior high, yeah.
Both had Mr. Lee.
Yep, who was a huge, intimidating man.
He was a man of little
He was
few
probably
words.
like 5'8".
Right. We threw rocks at each other.
Yeah, Cody and I would pick up little rocks from the blacktop and throw them at each other. That was a lot of fun back then.
Classic.
Cody did not shun me like so many others did. I had the unfortunate experience of being called Gas Man in that PE class.
Cool.
Because occasionally when we would be doing crunches or push-ups or whatever, I would have gas issues.
Rip one.
And that was my life.
Fucking junior high was a goddamn hellscape.
And
I mean, ha 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 ha.
despite that, Cody was nice to me, so we became friends. I think you also knew Mike.
Yes.
And Mike
Yes.
was a friend of mine from hanging out outside of our locker room. Our lockers were inside our classrooms, and he was in the class where I had my locker, so we would hang out sometimes.
Did I play D&D with Mike at some point?
I wouldn't doubt
You
it.
may have.
Or DDR. One of those
Or
abbreviated
I could see
games.
both of those very
Mike-
pop.
You played in Tristan's group for a
Yes.
little bit.
That was the first time I ever played D&D with Tristan.
Mike was kind of in and out of that group.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so
You know
probably
Tristan
did.
has his PhD now?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, in some branch of microbiology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The man's a genius.
And he
Yeah,
plays
and he's-
viola, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, God, he is it me or did he totally drop off the face of the earth?
He did, and one day I got a call asking about a character reference for a government job for CIA or something. Sorry if I doxed you, Mike, but it was just hey, remember Mike? And I was like, yeah, and they were like, he's applying for this job with this clearance. Do you remember him? And I was like, I do.
Yeah.
Wow, well that makes sense why I cannot find him at all.
It makes sense.
I just blew his cover. Sorry, dude. He's gonna hunt me down.
We could theoretically beep his name
Sure.
in post.
That'll be hilarious. No, I like that.
I'll bleep the last name.
Okay, yeah.
Mike.
So Cody and I were in this PE class together, and we would be there doing warm-ups and stuff like that. And then you'd see another class doing laps around the blacktop, and again with the trivia here, John as a youngster had flat feet.
Still have flat feet.
You still do.
It's not a thing that goes
You didn't
away.
grow out of that,
I didn't
loser.
know.
Yeah.
It's
It's just how your feet are.
So he had a distinctive running style, and it kind of stood out. And Cody and I would kind of be like, "Everyone else makes fun of us. Let's look at that guy."
Oh, and that's why junior high was a fucking
Because we're
hellscape.
12.
Jesus, I hate it.
But eventually, I had just discovered Monty Python and thought that was pretty great. And I discovered that John also liked Monty Python.
Yes.
So all barriers were thrown aside.
When you're 13, that's all you need to form a deep relationship.
it.
Yeah.
So I had a bunch of my friends like Mike and I don't know, Cody, you weren't in that trip. We went to Marine World.
Right,
No.
yeah.
And John's mom had a Suburban at the time. I told everyone, hey, let's all ride in that car. And so that solidified it. That made it. That and a run-in. I was with my mom. You were with your mom. We ran into each other at Beverly's Crafts, I think.
That makes sense for that time period, yeah.
And Monty Python was the subject of the conversation. And anyway, so we became fast friends, and so the three of us have stuck together ever since, except for a little while when Cody was doing his own thing because he is cool.
Yes, because I was cool. That is the reason.
Yep.
Literally none other.
But we have stuck together, and it's been a ton of fun. I call you guys, when you're not around, my absolute closest friends,
Hell yeah.
and that is mostly true.
That's fair. I respect that.
So speaking of all three of us, let's get back to the podcast.
Okay.
This is a scene that John remembers as being particularly good as an ensemble work. The three of us working together. This is from episode 228, Freedom Whiskey, established 1776.
I don't know if I remember that.
Our American Independence Day special.
You will remember it
I
once
see what
it
you're saying.
starts.
I'm so excited.
This is a bit of history retold by us. Washington, comma George. Mm-hmm. Franklin, comma Benjamin. Common Benjamin. Yes, look out for the common Benjamin.
Not to be confused.
To be in these woods. And Jefferson, comma Thomas. They debate the Declaration of Independence in Washington's secret whiskey cellar. And if that doesn't make you interested in listening, fuck off.
You shitwagon.
Here's a bit of history with affected speech. Here we go. This is one of John's absolute favorite scenes from the 6.5 years we've been podcasting. Yes. Here we go.
And no, I'm telling you, we can't have that kind of ridiculous proposition in here.
No, Tom, I'm saying it needs to
Jefferson. When we're arguing, it's Mr. Jefferson.
You know what? When you're 40 years old, then maybe I'll give you a fucking honorific. But until then, I'm Dr. Franklin, and you are Tom, okay? Now, as I was saying...
Oh, yes.
Before some redheaded little upstart started talking about...
Ben, tone.
Okay, as I was saying... Before some redheaded little asshole
much better.
started.
Thank you, Mr. Washington.
Indistinguishable to me.
Yes.
I think this needs to be a shock and awe kind of document. And that's why I have written, whereas the below signed would like to read you motherfuckers for filth on these... very specific charges of being fuckwads.
Ben.
I'm just reading what I wrote already.
I know.
It doesn't. It just doesn't grab me. It doesn't have that.
What about read you motherfuckers for filth doesn't grab you?
Ben.
That's like reaching out of the page and grabbing you by the
love
fucking
you
throat.
as a brother.
Okay, we can talk about your weird familial issues later, George, but...
Ben.
Can't speak to him that way.
This is a cool cave, by the way.
Thank you. This is my whiskey cellar.
You've brought Franklin to a place that holds alcohol?
Whiskey doesn't do much anymore.
Shocking.
Have you tried opium?
Yes.
Tastes like cherries.
It's all the rage. Look, I brought you to my secret whiskey cellar for a reason. I wanted to work out the differences between you two. But I'm realizing, Ben,
you're going to freeze me for about 20 years.
What?
And let him grow up a bit so that we're finally like approaching an equal level. That's the plan.
Equinox. Hardly seems reasonable.
No, Ben. I'm gonna have Tom ride it.
Do you have Do you have a time machine down here?
A what machine?
A time machine?
I have a watch.
No, like a...
It's very clever.
Clever. Oh, one of those things.
Yes.
That can't go underwater? Yeah. No, like, because I would like to get into a machine that will take me back in time to when you're a small child so I can kick you in the balls. What you just said.
Well, I think you'd find that I was a scruffy little guy.
I believe it.
That's the counterpoint.
I believe it, and I believe that is part of the problem we're having
I was
here today.
A late developer. And also quite scrappy.
Oh, good.
And so I think you'd find that your tactics would not get the result that you desire.
It would not be a satisfying kick in the nuts.
No.
Is what you're saying.
No, these chestnuts came late.
I bet they did.
This is the weirdest argument I've ever been party to.
So you want Tom,
Mr. Jefferson,
to write it?
Yeah, I want old Jawfish to do it.
I will call you Tom.
Listen,
then we're agreed.
Franklin, one of us is going to write a document that's going to span the history of our entire country. One of us
flew a kite in the rain and made electricity.
You did not make it. That is a preposterous assumption.
And look, I think we're just on the balance here of,
You can sign it at the bottom of something.
Yeah, I think we all will.
Can we put his at the very bottom?
Actually, we'll have to review that when the time comes.
All right.
Jesus.
But look, just on the balance of legacy here, you've already got your almanac and your, crazy inventions and your madman routine.
All crazy and ridiculous.
I just think that if we want a little bit more of a measured approach to this particular document, and I think the fact that it comes at all
how
will be
measured
enough shock and awe.
How measured was getting on to a boat dressed as Indians and chucking a bunch of tea into the harbor?
That was delightful.
That was. I'm building on that. That's what I'm building. That is point A. We need to escalate, not back away and say, "Oh, I'm very sorry about the tea, England, but could you please maybe give us some independence in the ass?"
And that's why Franklin cannot do this. He has no sense of pacing or timing or decorum or artistic merit or anything even approaching a writer's appreciation for the language.
Oh, right.
That's very good, Thomas.
See that?
Good.
And that's why I'm writing this.
And he just made that up on the spot.
I did?
He didn't say fuck once.
No, I guess he didn't.
Can I finish it with fuck you,
No.
Mr. Franklin? No?
No.
Okay.
Fuck you, Mr. Franklin. Who's Mr. Franklin? Who's Mr. Franklin? It's Doctor. It's Dr. Tom.
It's not Dr. Tom.
No, Tom. It is Dr. Franklin.
I see that my mission here has failed.
Oh my God.
I just love how each of us plays our parts. It's like a perfect ensemble of Dave as the suffering straight man, me as the absolute psychopath, and then Cody as like the guy who just has to poke the bear.
The petulant child of I'm good.
That does work really well. Again with the self-tooting horns, but it just flows really well. The complement of the characters together is great.
Oh yeah.
That is a real blast.
It's Dr. Tom reminds me of something that happened years later in Doctor Strange when he goes, Mr. Doctor. It's strange. Who am I to judge? It doesn't get beat over. We didn't beat it over the head.
Right.
It's not Dr. Tom. It's Dr. Franklin. Move on. And it was just this pithy aside because it was all so in character.
Right.
Oh. Can I please have some independence in
the ass?
You see, and then he, I'm upset.
And Washington rising to the bait when talking about going back and kick him in the balls. He's like, well, actually, I think you would find if you did this fantastic idea you've just conjured that I was a scruffy little guy.
I don't know what possessed me to.
You have a time machine?
To just that hard left turn.
Do you have a time machine? A what machine?
And then when he goes, I have a watch. And then the counter is, the thing that can't go underwater. That's the big thing of it. The big thing. I know you can. And then you played it, it's like, no it can't. Shut up.
So Washington is trying to stay above the frame, right. And keeps getting pulled under.
Well, and I mentioned to you earlier that episode, one of my great regrets was we actually had a couple of scenes of Washington as a young boy, and one of my great regrets is not thinking to have one of those scenes end with Franklin appearing in a time machine and kicking balls.
Yeah. So, Go ahead and go back and check that out. Episode 228. There's a lot of good stuff in there in our 4th of July special.
I'm saying that's a solid example, too, of yes and. You as Washington could have very easily shut down the weird left turn of a time machine and gone, nope, that doesn't fit the scene.
Right.
That's weird. But the character Washington rose to the bait, which was you, Dave, saying, yeah, let's take this suggestion and run with it as these characters fucking perfectly. Because as the statesman who is compelled to defend his honor going, well, if had you a time machine, had you kicked my younger self in the balls, you would have indeed found, like, that was his response. And it was goddamn brilliant.
So clearly we think a lot about that scene.
It's a great
a lot of that scene, I should say. So let's temper that with a little humility again.
Cool. I need some humility.
I'm going to play the beginning of the first ever scene that all three of us did together.
Is this the military one?
I don't remember what this is, if I'm honest. This is like from episode D, maybe.
Okay.
This is the first scene with Cody in it. And it's not even the whole scene because it went on and on. Ooh. So here's a couple minutes of it.
All right, men.
Yes, Spock.
Now you know what tomorrow is, right? Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday. It's the Black Friday of online shopping. Now it's going to get rough out there.
How rough?
Rough, Private. You're going to be out there, you're going to be on Amazon, you're going to be on eBay, and people are going to be crammed into those URLs to the point of denials of service.
What about Craigslist?
No one gives a shit about Craigslist. Pay attention, Private!
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Shut up. Craigslist, idiot.
Sergeant.
Come on, friend. Sir.
Explain to Private Higgins our strategy with regards to eBay.
Private Higgins, do you have your keyboard?
It's not explaining anything.
No, sir.
What are you giving me, Corporal? How do you expect me to work with this?
Boy, I don't know.
Boy doesn't even know what WWW stands for.
Higgins?
What?
Oh.
Where is your keyboard?
Well, it's back in the barracks, sir.
Back in the barracks.
Back in the
I'm sorry.
barracks.
I guess he wanted to log on with some leaves and sticks.
Well, I don't have one of the Bluetooth keyboards. So
do you understand?
Rank?
Do you understand the stakes here?
I have to admit, sir, I'm a bit fuzzy on the stakes.
He's a bit fuzzy on the stakes. A bit fuzzy on the stakes.
I've never taken an evening class before, sir.
This is it. We're gonna be here until Tuesday morning.
We're
not get any deals.
Not a single one.
3 weeks out is when our shipping date's gonna be.
Sir, I'm a bit confused by the militaristic approach to online shopping, sir.
No, fuck you and your offerings.
Higgins.
Sir.
This is not about a military approach to anything.
Colonel is right below General.
This is about the raw, unhinged glory of online shopping.
Unhinged.
At its most intense.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, and it goes on.
Keeps going.
It goes on.
I remember, that's the one thing I very keenly remember, which has stuck with me through this entire endeavor, is that in character, I apologized for breaking. And then afterwards, Dave was very like, okay, no, so like when we do this, we kind of just play this out. And I was like, oh, okay, good to know. Very early learning it. When you break in character, you just kind of fucking keep going.
Yeah, no need to go out of the way to justify
I tried to justify it a lot, and it was just like, nope, I'm really glad that part was cut out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dave offered like multiple things in a row. And we were like, how about shut up?
How about we completely ignore that?
And go nowhere.
Yeah, we didn't even have our own suggestion for like, I've got a great idea. It was like, Dave offered something and we ignored it and went, I'd have no idea where we could go next with this.
Right.
It's just unfathomable. There are literally no options.
I mean, to be fair, at that point, like, I listened to way more improv than you guys did, like in podcasts and stuff. So I knew that you were supposed to like try these things, like put something out there to develop. But how? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, so, we were just figuring it out.
Yeah.
Cannot stress it enough.
Man.
we had no improv training.
None.
When we started this
There were
show.
other kids in class that were like, "Oh, they're so good." Casey Vaughn was one of them. I remember him like, "Oh, he's him."
Oh, yeah.
And one of his friends whose name I completely forgot at this point. I want to say Scott something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Scott Kegley.
Yes. They were hilarious.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They were made, and I was like, "Oh, I want to do this." And I tried to emulate them on nothing other than watching them. It was just like, okay, no, I have no idea what I'm doing.
And having watched them for a number of hours over a year or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
You have participated in our shame.
We have persevered. Mm-hmm. So let's get to something that I really like.
Yes.
Let's take a look at one of my favorite scenes from all time. Now, I have to stress, one of the most amazing scenes that we've ever done on the podcast, in my opinion, was from Halloween 2016. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you to go out there and listen to that episode. It is a ton of fun. There's a huge amount of post-production that went into that. Sound effects, music, all of that. It was a really fantastic ensemble performance. Yeah. It lags a little in the middle, but it starts great and ends great. And the ending story is of a handyman that goes to the house of like a mad scientist.
Yeah.
That is my pick of my favorite scene of all time.
Love this.
That is so good. In order for you to get the whole context of everything, it's like 25 minutes, so we're not playing that.
That's a long-ass scene.
Go back to Halloween 2016.
Yeah, and I will say that it's 25 minutes. It does not feel like 25 minutes.
Amazing.
Because it has a fantastic flow. It's just really quality.
That episode has Jenny Parcell in it. It has Sarah Henshaw in it. Mm-hmm. It has the three of us. It is a ton of fun. Go listen to that. Also, I will say the open access interview series where Phil and Phil interviewed Carl Grunwald.
Oh my God.
About German folklore and fairy tales.
That was brilliant.
That was a good runner-up.
One of the greatest recording sessions of my life. That is a ton of fun. Go look for that open access interview series. Phil and Phil.
That one's like an hour, yeah.
Carl Grunwald. It's like 45 minutes to an hour, yeah.
And that one has excellent pacing and character moments and callbacks. There's a lot going on.
And
that is worth listening to on that one.
Fake advertisements. It's fun.
Which are also great.
Box is in that.
Box. Masterpiece.
Anyway, so all that aside, I ended up going with something else. This is from episode 157, Making Friends with the Enemy. This was a listener-suggested scene from someone named Saren. Thank you, Saren, if you're still listening.
Saren.
I call this scene Titanic Pickup.
Uh-oh.
And this features John and myself. And I put a little bit of post into this one as well because I liked it so much at the time. Here we go.
So Saren suggested a scene hitting on a lady on the Titanic before the sinking. And then going back as it's sinking for another shot. Which is, you know what? Never say die. I already love it. Nice.
Hey, what you drinking? Can I buy you a drink?
Oh, it's just it's just a sherry, you know.
Oh, yeah?
And I think it's an open bar, it's first class and everything.
Yeah, well, there's this cool drink that I made up.
Oh, really?
It's so crazy.
Yeah, you muddle cherry and some sugar, and then you put whiskey. I call it a new fashion.
That sounds very old fashioned.
It's a new fashion. I made it up, so it's pretty cool.
Pretty sure I read about that in a Mark Twain novel.
That's around. That's a thing. You read? That's great. I like someone who reads.
It's 1911. You know, it's.
You read a lot. That's funny stuff, right? He writes funny stuff.
Mark Twain. Well, a lot of it is funny, but it's got some real heart to it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know some jokes. I like jokes. I pick them up
Well,
here
it's
and
not
there.
really jokes. It's more like he's a humorist.
It's like what was it?
And then doesn't remember the joke.
Oh, what?
It's more like he's a humorist. So like
Humorist.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to.
It's like
listen
a
to
fancy
him.
science name,
Respond.
right? For comedian.
Well, not really. He makes observations about daily life and
Yeah.
in America.
Yeah, like a It's like those
and how it's sort of
vaudeville-y.
funny.
Yeah.
What?
there's this thing I heard. I don't know. I can't remember the joke, and if I think of it, I'll
So anyway,
bring it up.
I'm kind of waiting for someone. His name is Jack.
Oh.
Do you know him?
No. I mean, I don't. Actually, I don't know anyone
He's a
named...
great artist.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, if you change your mind or... Okay. All right.
What do you mean change my mind?
No, that's okay. I've got to...
no, that's okay.
I'm just asking because he's in third class and
that's
I don't know how easy it is for him to get up here. So
Okay.
I wondered if you knew him because like your shoes.
Oh no, no, that's fine. I'm out of time. When I was on my way in here, I passed one of the crew, and with the uniforms, and they said they needed my help with something.
Oh, are you part of the crew?
No, but they could see that I would be able to help. So I'm gonna go help.
Interesting. What?
Help.
So like the crew needs
they needed something
the
really
crew needs
heavy
help with something?
lifted, or I don't know.
They seemed very capable.
Now you want to talk?
Well, it's just no.
Look, all right.
Weren't we
fine.
talking?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Well, it was nice meeting you.
Cut to the ship sinking and probably at like a 15 or 25 degree angle.
Well, that was really nice of Jack to freeze to death while I lay on this piano cover, but
Water noises.
Oh, I remember you.
Oh, hi. Can I hang on to the? I need a thing to get on.
Well, sure if you like, but I mean, I already tried it with Jack.
Yeah.
For him to get on here with me, and just it overbalanced a little bit.
Oh well. It will look this bit. There's a bit down here that folds out. You fold that out. You fold that out.
Oh, okay.
God.
Okay. Yeah. See, there's plenty of room. Oh, thank you so much. God damn, it's cold in there. I remembered that joke. I remembered that joke.
The joke?
The joke, yeah.
Joke? What?
Right?
I don't know if I'm really in the mood for a joke right now. Because
so a Chinaman.
You remember I was telling you about Jack?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he just died.
That's terrible for you.
Yeah, it was because like we had this whole whirlwind romance, and he just and I was ready to give everything up for him. And
Gross.
I know the fact that he's dead now is gross. Like he literally just like sank. Like he froze to death, and he was like all frozen.
Yeah.
And I said, "I'll never let go, Jack." And then he sank.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens with things that are frozen. You let it go.
Let it go.
Oh no! I hate you.
All right. Well, that's enough of that.
That was a really great example of several times giving a no that was actually a yes.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't yes and it was no but. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a scene where you're shooting somebody down and dating, or like approaching at the bar, which is rife with like no, go away. But modern society, you kind of hedge that to be polite, which lent itself perfectly to every new attempt you had.
Oh god!
And that's something that it's happened a number of times. Most recently, in the scene that you and I did John, where you were seeking revenge.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah,
And,
such a good one.
That was a scene where we were in conflict.
Uh-huh.
One of us was doing way better at it than the other. We had high status, we had low status. And just them bumping heads.
Right.
Like that push, that pressure between them.
Uh-huh.
It works really well between us sometimes. And that scene with the Titanic was one of the earlier ones.
Plowing ahead with, I know a joke.
Oh, God.
Directly in conflict.
Uh-huh.
And
The obvious. I just made it up. No, I'm like, I read about that in a book. Oh shit! Like
you read?
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, and like I read about that in a book could have been like a total shutdown, but you salvaging it with. You read? Yeah, it's like, oh, fuck, I brought a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah, his buddy told him, chicks don't read at all. They're totally just drop this. And he's like, oh, I got it. I made this up.
You've read Mark Twain. I don't really know about him, so... He's that funny guy, right? Yeah. This thing that you know I don't like.
The desperate grasp at every sentence to make it relatable, but also to put himself in some kind of weird superior position. Oh, that's this, right? Like, I already knew about this.
Not really. I know jokes. I am here going up against Samuel Clemens. It's me versus him right now for your attention.
Right.
And then the actual joke starts with, so there's a Chinaman.
Oh, God.
And that's all you need.
That's
right. Yeah. Like, it's like, okay, yep. He has confirmed everything we believed about his character.
Yeah.
He's in third class. Gross. Such everything we needed to see about that character came through to build him perfectly. You never had to beat anything over the head. It was goddamn amazing, dude.
Yeah. So thanks again, Darren, if you're still listening.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite scenes of all time.
So great.
And because we can't leave it on a success, although that would be the wise thing to do. We're going to go ahead. We're going to listen to something that, we recorded it once.
Oh.
And it got cut out of a beta episode.
Why would you do this to us? Why?
This is the one and only time that we attempted to play an improv game called Jeopardy.
Nope, never mind. Take it back. Thank you.
It is not what you're thinking of, Cody.
Oh, damn it.
Probably.
The one where you don't know anything about.
Right. That's different. That was a released episode.
That's such a great one.
Where I didn't really know how Jeopardy worked.
In real life.
Dave Patterson, and Cody made me become the host of Jeopardy to see what would happen.
I'm going to guess that episode.
Yeah, Jenny.
It was Jenny Brush at the time.
At the time. Nay Brush.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that usage of English.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
So this is a horror show of us trying to play an improv game called Jeopardy. And let's get through this, and then we'll call it a day.
Oh.
And today's
drunk myself
improv game,
dead.
brought to us by the lovely folks at improvencyclopedia.org, is called Jeopardy. In this game, have the players close or cover their ears, then ask the audience for questions and answers. Examples would be, what is the color of an American school bus? Ooh. Yellow. What is the Examples would be, what is the color of an American school bus? Yellow. What is dyslexia? Not being able to make
Oh, sorry.
Nope. Write down the answer, not the question. Then give the players an answer and let them come up with questions that might be answered correctly by that answer. It's kind of like, what would the worst / silliest / funniest question be that could have this answer? So, since we don't have an audience except for you wonderful people at home, and you can't interact with us, which is how we like it.
Oh, damn.
Instead of going to you for answers, I will play the host, and I will draw
our first live show
Fruit Words cards. And I will, just for a little extra fun, I will keep score. And we'll say green cards for 1,000, red cards for 500.
Sounds good to me.
So, this is a terrible idea. Welcome to Jeopardy.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome to Jeopardy.
So, as our returning champion, David, why don't you pick a category first?
I would like
If I may.
a green card for 7,000.
You can only have a green card for 1,000.
Then I'll have a red card for 7,000.
You can only have a red card.
Take
for
that, the
500.
rules.
Then I'll have a green card for 1,000.
Damn it.
All right. Graceful. Graceful.
What are we doing here again?
I have to come up with a question, the answer of which is graceful.
By the way, this is edited. I cut in half most breaks of.
And feel free to buzz in at any time.
Yes. Buzz. What did my girlfriend Grace say after I put my dick in her?
Oh shit!
Jesus.
What?
Answer: graceful.
Wow.
Whoa!
Holy!
I'm afraid that's incorrect.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Cody.
That's hilarious. That's what I was.
What did my mother call me at my ballet recital? Graceful.
That is correct.
Wow.
That's 1,000.
The height of comedy.
1,000 points for that chicken shit. That is ridiculous.
I agree with past Dave.
You're just not as graceful as me.
Cody,
Yes.
choose our next category.
Let's go red for whatever it's worth.
Red for 500. Beer bellies. Beer bellies.
Beer bellies.
What's the newest small candy that's causing a trend in the adult world? It's beer bellies.
Fantastic. That's 500 points to David.
Candy.
Jelly bellies that get you drunk.
I'd have those.
I like the sound of that.
David, choose a category, please.
I'd never change.
I would like a red card for 1,000.
Red cards are 500. Mad cow disease.
This is you're insisting on that is actually the only funny part of this scene so far.
And I remind you that either one of you can buzz in at any time.
That would probably be, why did my girlfriend break up with me?
I'm afraid that's incorrect.
No,
We're just
it's
offensive
not.
across the board with this shit.
David?
What is a disease that negatively affects the neural capacity of bovine creatures?
I'm afraid that's also incorrect. The correct response is, why is Snooky so mad all the time?
Well, 3 for 3.
No points.
Do you know
for
what
this
it
round.
is?
Jesus Christ.
It's just, I really kind of feel like I had the proper definition.
You would.
So, David, please choose another category.
I will take another red card.
Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer.
Buzz, who is an asshat?
That is correct. 500 points to David.
Can we challenge that answer?
Judges?
What?
John, there are no judges. Are you just trying to be silly to cover the fact that you have no idea what to say, or
Wow.
That's how I got through high school.
There's always a
because we can always have deliberation and then edit it out if you want.
I'm just mouthing off.
Call it out.
Judges say no.
Oh, okay.
And they also deduct 500 points from Dave's score. Cody, choose a
got
category.
him.
Let's go green.
Green for 1,000. Bold. Daring, brave, courageous. Bold.
Going back to the well.
That is a good bold.
For a font joke.
Bold it is. Bold.
Seriously?
Bold. Yeah.
Buzz,
Bold. Yeah.
David,
what type of eagle is the national bird?
I'm afraid that's incorrect.
Answer
David.
the bald eagle.
Cracked yourself up with that. That was good.
What is my favorite typeface modifier? Clearly.
That is correct.
That's what it is.
1,000
Can I buzz in
points
again?
to Cody. No, you cannot.
Jesus.
Cody, a category, please.
Green again. I'm feeling adventurous.
Green for 1,000.
Hey, he keeps picking the ones that are worth more.
Scary. Scary.
Buzz,
She's fast on that buzzer.
How awesome would you describe Silly Putty to be? Scary awesome.
That is correct.
Random.
1,000 points for
David.
David.
Your Silly Putty.
David, choose a category, please.
I'm going to go for green too.
Green for 1,000. Principled. Principled.
The most hilarious word.
Well, when you're drawing fruit words cards. You know.
Afraid we're out of time on that.
no.
The correct response would have been, what did my high school asshat do all day? Response, principled.
As a
That doesn't
verb.
make any sense.
Dave, it's back to you.
I thought we were out of time.
Green, I guess.
Out of time for
But that
an
didn't make any
answer.
sense.
Shucks.
Are all the answers not going to make sense?
Overwhelming. Overwhelming.
Buzz,
Yes, David.
how would you describe the stench that remains in the bathroom after I have eaten a dinner of lentil loaf?
Lentil loaf.
That is correct. 1,000 points to David.
Overwhelming. You clearly haven't been in the same house because that word does not nearly describe the health perils involved.
Little
in such
zinger.
an event.
David, choose a category, please.
I'm going green. Not like the political thing, because we don't talk politics.
He lied.
of which-
Lying.
Touchy-feely. Touchy-feely.
Oh, Buzz, I guess. What is the other reason my girlfriend broke up with me?
What?
That is correct. 1,000
Not-
points to
Told you.
Cody.
Neither pertinent nor funny.
Touchy-feely mad cow, I'll tell you what.
Jesus.
Cody, choose a
Clearly
category.
I
I was
really
still
thought
bitter.
that these answers, these questions were supposed to make sense with the answer.
No,
Cody, choose a category.
let's
Yeah.
go red.
Fuck you and your humor.
Red
I
for
mean,
500.
this is still the era when
Popcorn.
your just like my ex
Popcorn.
running gag still was infused with great bitterness.
This
Buzz.
is fair.
So
What was Andy Warhol's favorite vegetable to paint?
That is correct. 500 points.
Buzz,
David, do you have something to add?
can I buzz in after he's already answered?
No, you cannot.
Oh. Okay.
What were you going to say, Dave? I just want to hear it. I
was gonna.
No, please.
I never heard of Andy Warhol painting popcorn, but
Exactly.
I was gonna say that. What do you say when you're tired of reading out loud?
I hate reading.
You say popcorn and then name a fellow classmate.
Why would you do that? That doesn't make sense.
Because then they have to read.
What does popcorn have to do with
You
reading?
can be very vindictive.
Why? That makes no sense.
Someone else had
You're
bitterness.
complaining about things not making sense, and you're talking about reading and
Well, it makes a lot more sense than bringing up some guy named Andy Warhol. Probably doesn't even exist.
Not anymore.
Doesn't exist anymore.
I don't know why you're trying to make a big scene out of it when we're already established that I'm not allowed to buzz in after you already answered.
That's right, you're not.
this is the best
Making
part of the
sense
scene
of
so far.
Yeah, it is.
We're
Choose a
just
category,
abandoned the game.
Let's go, Red.
Just so bad.
Red for 500.
John wants to play the game.
Mississippi River.
Yeah.
Mississippi River.
Buzz,
This is why I'm
David.
not in charge anymore.
what is a large motherfucking river?
That is correct. 500 points to David.
Really? That makes sense to you, that answer, Dave.
Yeah.
Really?
What were you going to say?
What is not the Nile? Get it? Because, like, denial.
That joke isn't allowed.
That's true it is. I just did it.
That joke is not allowed. It's on the
Watch.
blacklist.
When do I get to see the blacklist, huh?
You don't.
As a matter of fact, that is on the blacklist, Cody, and the judges have determined that they will be getting rid of all of your points. for that.
Really? Is that right?
Yes.
Well, you can eat a bag of dicks.
So that's been Jeopardy for the week. Thank you all for tuning in.
John
That
decided
win.
it was time to call it.
Yes, you did.
How many points did I get?
Like 1 billion.
Wow.
Nepotism.
What?
So
Even
that
the shock
sucked
now.
a lot.
Sorry, we had such a good dry run with Unnatural. And then I just went dry. I
So,
tried my best, I'm really sorry.
so since I think we should probably...
Cut that out. Was what you were about to say.
That is a good suggestion. I'm glad you said it.
Yeah.
And now we've put it back in.
Yep.
Lucky.
That's wow.
Lucky
There's
you
a lot
guys.
Yeah, so that's where we started. This is where we are. Now we're good now.
Right.
We're good now.
Yeah.
And
maybe go ahead and listen to that Founding Fathers sketch again.
Yeah.
Because palate cleanser.
That one the second time is better than this one.
Yeah, go back and listen to Halloween 2016. Go back and listen to Phil and Phil.
Phil and Phil.
In the morning.
Hey!
Interviewing Carl Grunwald Jr.
Where did he go to school?
Oh, crap. I can't remember.
That's okay. It gets hit like 15 times in the episode.
It does, yeah.
And it's goddamn hilarious.
That's the one question that my Phil had written down ahead of time.
I'm just going to circle that.
The question here, it's underlined a few times, and I don't know if I've asked it or not, but for safety's sake.
Oh, my God.
The thing that I love about that episode is the chaos and the soundboard.
And then corporate calls in to tell us we can't use the soundboard partway through.
Yeah. All right. So, folks, that has been the best and the worst over the past six and a half years. Thank you for listening. I know it was a long episode. We will be back next week.
You're welcome.
We will have our live show from the Sacramento Podcast Festival, which is, if you're listening to this when it comes out, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. at the Stab Comedy Theater on Broadway in Sacramento. So, hope you enjoy that. And until next time, whenever that may be.
Who knows?
I'm Dave.
I'm John.
I'm Cody.
And I think it is fair to say a proper assessment might be one might get away with the declaration that we've wasted all of your time.
You're damn right.
Bon voyage.
Good night, folks.
Congratulations, you've made it to the end of another episode of Wasting All the Time, a podcast. If you enjoyed this show, then please consider subscribing on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher, or follow us on Spotify. If you really enjoyed the show, then head on over to patreon.com/timewastepod and become a supporter of our time-wasting efforts. Now, that was a lot of things I just threw at you, so if you forget all that, just head on over to wastingallthetime.com, and there we have all the answers.
Off the Dice pulls up a chair with tabletop gamers to chat about subjects that are not always about gaming. Questions may be random and off the mark, but all in the spirit of fun and getting to know one another. Guests can vary from regulars in the tabletop gaming community to other great people who love the game. I mean, don't we all? Off the Dice is a Time to Tabletop production hosted by creator, producer, game master, and head rock star of Time to Tabletop, Scooter Hamilton. New episodes drop every other Friday, so pull up a chair and let's talk Off the Dice. Off the Dice is a Time to Tabletop production, building community through the language of gaming.